So collaboration is obviously really important, whether you're working with your partner or with people that are doing similar work.
Being a part of VALIN has been a great opportunity for us to connect with other divisions.
To kind of see more connections, I think has been really good.
We both have these initiatives, and yet we have different approaches to how we are scaling presentations of learning and our portrait of a graduate, or our learner profile. I feel like Henrico is taking more of kind of a big picture strategic plan approach and kind of working their way down to the classroom level, whereas I feel like we at Fairfax are taking more of kind of a ground up approach where we're really focusing on those classroom practices and those resources, the rubrics, the steps to success that we could get into the hands of teachers so that they can implement the work. And we're working on how do we scale that in a division as large as ours. So I feel like we have a lot that we can learn from one another.
We really found ourselves through series of cohorts that we participated alongside Fairfax over the last couple of years, wanting to have deeper conversations with them beyond the meetings that we had at the CTC Hull Center. And so it just sort of was a natural thing that sprung from quick conversations with them and the desire to talk more and learn more from what they're doing.
We do a lot of what's the big picture? What are we trying to get to as a whole division? And what is that plan? What are we measuring? So we've been working very diligently at that level, but then to see Fairfax working very much and very poignantly with specific students, specific classrooms, with those resources, I really see unique opportunities for us to meet in the middle and help each other with that.
They always celebrated things that we weren't celebrating, and we seemed to always be celebrating things that they weren't celebrating. So it seemed like we had a lot to learn from each other. So getting the opportunity, number one, to build relationships with people who have common interests, who love getting kids to talk about and build skills in real world ways. But after the getting to know each other and sharing is just the opportunity to dig in, hear what successes people have had, hear what roadblocks people have had, and using those successes and roadblocks to further the work that you're doing. I think that's been hyper impactful in our mission in providing portrait of a graduate opportunities to all students.
What's happening behind the scenes is that all of the ALP coaches are meeting on an almost weekly basis to talk about what's going on with our teams. So I have line of sight on my teams, and I get to hear what the other VALIN teams are doing. And so we were continuously saying oh, hey, that's happening over here in the state. I've got a team working on that also. So we're able to make connections. Some of them were just touch points at convenings or a huddle at a webinar or something, and others like Fairfax and Henrico have become a more solidified, lasting collaboration.
Our coaches ask us questions. I always go, I didn't think about it from that lens. And that's the role of a coach. And I think it's an expertise that you all bring to the table that we need.
You collaborate with somebody and you're inspired and you have all these great ideas, and then you go back to your office and the reality of your work steps in, and you lose sight of what those big ideas were and how you're actually going to actualize those big ideas.
By setting some time specifically to gather, get in the car and travel as a team and meet with Fairfax, it allowed us to really follow through on our intention to work together, collaborate, discuss, and plan.
If you look at someone's schedule, it really shows what they value. And sometimes we're in control of that and sometimes we're not. We had tried multiple times with Henrico to say, hey, let's meet on Zoom, let's meet on Google Meet. And every time something came up and we said, you know what, having it be too casual, having it be too much, let's just meet on Zoom for this 45 minutes, wasn't going to get the outcomes we needed. So we said we needed to block away time, and we needed to say this is valuable enough that we're going to grow from it. So it's not something that's taken away from something else you're doing. It's actually giving you the tools to do the other things you're doing better. And without the time commitment, we know what happens, nothing.
My hope is that we come out with a complete division, down to level, down to classroom plan of what we can implement and accomplish based on what we both share across both of our teams.
My hope for this is that Henrico's work and Fairfax's work comes together, similar, not the same work, but very similar work, and we share those successes all over the state so that other school districts say, wow, that's a path for success for us too.